Hey, how's it going? I hope you're doing good. So I'm here, I'm watching Twitch. I guess these women are streaming here, they're eating some pizza and stuff. I was starting to get in a bad mood. Somehow my mom came upstairs and said, hey, we got to move this TV out of the bedroom. And I said, well, I'll have to get a cart because it's an older style TV. So I said, well, does it still have cable television connected to it? Because here's the TV. It's an old Mitsubishi right there. So this is the bedroom that I sleep in. So what I'm going to do is set this up over here. And I said, well, do you have access to it? Because some of the cabinets and stuff that you set up, sometimes you couldn't really get access to the back of the TV. I mean, I'm sure it probably doesn't have HDMI. But I'm actually going to set this here. I hope this doesn't get knocked off. Let's see if I can rotate this around. And then I'm basically just going to try to figure out what use I can make of this old TV. I was watching these women stream, presumably from maybe a Scandinavian country or somewhere. But I was trying to post the right thing. Somebody's with the video and the audio. You can't. So the first thing I got to do to get to the back of this TV. Mom, do you know if we have the remote control or did we get rid of it? That's my mom's instructions, which I love. But they sometimes actually work. Right there. All right, so here are the old remotes. We got an old TV remote, and this one, they had these old flip panels you could do stuff with. Okay, so let's see.
Did you find it?
Yeah, I'm on Facebook. I'm going to see what we got here. Okay, so we got TV. Yeah, let's see, video. Oh no, that's tint, color, bright, contrast. Okay, how about input? We can do the old input. Index, video, TV, extension 1. This said if you wanted to hook up an old Nintendo, this is what you wanted to hook it up to. But I doubt that I have the component cables. I haven't even used component cables in so long. Let's see, go to TV. Okay, so we got extension 1, and it looks like we don't have any cable TV in here. We go to channel 2, we can change the channel. And maybe we'll try to scan. I don't know if you can actually scan on this. So we got stereo, treble, balance, all that stuff. All right, let's see. Data on screen, that's all we got. Off timer. It looks like the image has been adjusted too. So I didn't think old CRT monitors like this could change the size of the picture in the TV box. We also have this little thing down here. Most of the time, some of the newer TVs had a drop down. You can kind of see TV cable, TV reception mode, CATV, TV, auto program. That's what we're gonna try to go for this auto. Okay, we're just gonna scan all the channels. See, it's going 4, 5, 6. Just gonna see if there's any signal out there. When you get in these homes, they're big or whatever, you get back here, it's hard to actually get any internet or signal. If I bring the Nintendo or whatever else out here that it's got to use the internet, it'll always shut down immediately. So we're getting nothing out of this. So we got to do is remove all the books. We got the 1999 Best of the Best. Ironically, that was a Jean-Claude... Oh, no, was it Jean-Claude Van Damme? Anyway, I thought it was a karate kickboxing movie. Best of the Best. Got all these old books in here. So we're still scanning. We're up to about number 50. We don't have 50 channels. We got none out of 50. His book dropped. We got sound all of a sudden. What happened? So Mom will probably get mad. It's probably too many books to drop. These two on a creme de Colorado cookbook. Little shiny plate there, black and yellow. Gold border with black inseam. Just another oh no, not just another. Another classic cookbook from the Junior League of Denver Incorporated, creators of Colorado Cache Cookbook. And then we got the other one, The Best of Sunset. This one at Ernst. Ernst was a drugstore where I grew up. $29.95. The Best of Sunset. Recipes from the Magazine of Western Living. They got some crab claw, crab body on here, some butter and some mayonnaise, some old steamed or roasted artichokes, some type of cake bowl with grapes, and some type of breadstick with some poppy seeds on it. All right, so let's take a look at the back of this thing. Does not move. Is it glued or pinched? It's either glued or pinched. Okay, so we might have a pinched TV. Which means we got too much weight on the upper shelf. You gotta remove these books. So we can still move it. Yeah, it's pinched. But all these books. We got pinched electronics up here.
Don't be throwing my books.
Sorry.
You don't need to take the ones that
No,
are...
it's pinched, see, because the shelf is warped, bent down, so the
Okay,
TV's
you're
pinched.
throwing them. These are old books.
No,
I don't want them
I'll
thrown.
set them more carefully, but
Yeah,
they're heavy.
yeah, look what you've done.
Well, do you want a lot of these? I mean, this is beef.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
These
This-
are collector's
oh,
items.
okay, beef and
Some
veal.
of those were my
Okay.
mom's.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The High Maples Farm Cookbook.
Yeah.
Edna Smith Berquist. James Beard's American Cookery. The Fireside Cookbook with no author on the cover. Okay, let's try now. And we got a little bit less. Ugh. Find him? Here's Kafka. Not Franz Kafka. Barbara Kafka. This is from the Ketchum Kitchens 2488. The Julia Child Cookbook Awards winner, Roasting, a Simple Art. Not Franz Kafka, Barbara Kafka. How to roast absolutely everything, including vegetables, birds, meats, fish, and fruit.
I don't know why that has to all come down.
Because this is pinches. See, I can't move the TV to look at the back because the book's pushed down on
Okay,
the.
do not throw those.
I'm not. I'm setting them. I'm doing the best I can.
All right.
Okay, we got Washington State Bed and Breakfast. I almost ripped my toenail off on an edge of the book.
Yeah.
New second edition, award-winning Bed and Breakfast Cookbook. If you're Carol Fano and Doreen Hazeledine, not Hazel, Hazeledine. Washington State. Look, you the man. I got some birthday card. Maybe it's for me or my dad. I want to read it first. Oh, it's from the Kleins. Oh no, but it's to my dad. I can't read it. It's my dad, Jim. Okay. Let's see what we got in here. Bubble bread. Makes 8 to 12 servings. Half cup chopped nuts. 24 frozen dough dinner rolls. 1 cup brown sugar. John and Jeanne Robards. 2846 Spirit Lake Highway, Castle Rock, Washington. When I first moved here, Irene and I went into Castle Rock on the way home on down I-5. Just turn off. We went to a grocery store there. She's at BlueHeronInn.com. www.blueheroninn.com. GN at BlueHeronInn.com. 7 rooms, all with private baths. Children aged 6 and older are welcome. Animals not allowed. Handicap, not handicap accessible. Dietary needs will accommodate guests' special dietary needs. They have bubble bread. All right, let's go to the next one. Brad Stolzenberg, 121 East Highland Avenue, Chelan, Washington. This is out of Lake in eastern Washington. Email's not available for Brad, but www.aquailsroostin.com. 2 rooms, 1 suite, all with private baths. So 2 rooms, so 3 rooms. Children aged 10 and older are welcome. Animals not allowed. Handicap, not handicapped accessible. Dietary needs will accommodate guests' special dietary needs. Raspberry and cream French toast. All right, let's go to the next one. Christian and Leah Andrade, 146 Starlight Way, Friday Harbor, Washington. When I was growing up, Friday Harbor was sort of an exclusive getaway, okay, in Washington, out on a lake or by an island or somewhere. Christine-Leah at olympiclights.com. www.olympiclights.com. 4 rooms, all with private baths. Children aged 10 and older are welcome. Animals not allowed. Handicap, not handicap accessible. Dietary needs, call ahead. She makes, or their bread and breakfast makes eggs and potatoes with red pepper onion sauce. Okay. This one's got a frittata Italiano. Old Consulate Inn, F.W. Hastings House. Michael DeLong, 313 Walker at Washington, Port Townsend, Washington. It's got an area code near Vancouver. Email anyone at oldconsulatinn.com. Website www.oldconsulatinn.com. 8 rooms, all with private baths. Children aged 12 and older are welcome. Animals not allowed. Handicap, not handicapped accessible. Dietary needs will accommodate special dietary needs. Now this looks like it has some establishment, some history. It's old and it's consulate. So let's read it. Sitting high on a bluff with commanding views of Port Townsend Bay, Mount Rainier, and the Olympic Mountains, the Old Consulate Inn is Port Townsend's founding family mansion. Originally built in 1889 by Senator F.W. Hastings, this grand mansion has become one of the most photographed and artistically depicted Victorians in the Pacific Northwest. The Old Consulate Inn is a designated National Historic Landmark, so you can definitely still look it up on the internet. Old Consulate Inn. All right, frittata Italiana. Let's see if it's got sausage. And it does. Number 1 ingredient, 3/4 pound Italian sausage. Sounds great. Got some eggs, some sour cream, some basil, oregano, which is okay. But you garnish it with basil, makes it all worth it. You can hold the olives. There's a 1/4 cup sliced back black olives as garnish. If you don't want them, you can hold them. Okay. Caswell's on the Bay, shredded potato quiche. One of the most amazing things with old recipes that have quiche and potatoes. You hold the eggs, you add a little bit of butter or fat, and you've basically got a great potato dish. Don't tell anyone I said that. All right, Bob and Marilyn Caswell, 25204 Sandridge Road, Ocean Park, Washington. We also have an ocean park here. I don't exactly know where it is all the time, but many times you think of Ocean Shores and Ocean Park in Delaware or Maryland, but you also have Ocean Park here. B. Caswell at willapabay.org. www.caswellsinn.com. 5 rooms, all with private baths. Children aged 12 and older are welcome. Animals not allowed. Handicap, not handicap accessible. Dietary needs will accommodate guests' special dietary needs. Let's read it. It looks sort of like a newer style home. It does have sort of a turret there and a wind wheel type thing. Okay. Caswell's on the Bay Bed and Breakfast is a grand 2-story turreted Victorian encircled by a covered veranda that showcases colorful flower pots and hanging baskets. The rooms are spacious, providing a wondrous setting to display quality antiques, floral and country garden watercolors, and Tiffany-style glass lamps. Most time when you think of Tiffany, you think silver, gold, platinum, diamonds, emeralds, rubies, gemstones, but they have Tiffany style stained glass lamps. I guess it's Tiffany style. So the beautifully presented breakfasts sometimes include oysters from the Willapa Bay area. So I don't know if the Willapa Bay still has oysters. I haven't heard of the Willapa Bay oysters in a while, but I haven't been eating oysters all that much too. They have a shredded potato quiche. You add the potatoes, the cheese, the onions, the Swiss cheese, the Monterey Jack. You also add a half pound of bacon. That's 8 ounces of bacon cooked and crumbled, which means if you add the fat, you add the mushrooms if you want them, the zucchini is okay, yellow or red bell pepper, and then you add the eggs. 2 cups, half and half, a little bit of extra cream, salt, sugar, and cayenne pepper for some spice. You take out the pepper. You can add a little bit of water or just a little bit of something to moisture the potatoes if you don't want so much half and half. You remove the eggs and you got an awesome potato dish. Okay, let's move on. Bosch Garten. Sort of like a little special emphasis on the egg. Garten. Bosch. Like the appliances. Fresh fruit with amaretto cream. This is great. One of those summer mornings you're going to wake up early and watch the Wimbledon tennis match. If you don't have the sugar, not the sugar, the strawberries, you have the fresh fruit from your area, the berries or the melons or whatever. If you want some cream, amaretto, you don't necessarily need the alcohol. Okay, let's take a look at this. Georgianne and Denny Nichols, 9846 Dye Road, that's D-Y-E, Leavenworth, Washington. Okay, this is out sort of in the middle. I think Leavenworth now has sort of an old-style German town feel to it, but it's still there. Okay, innkeeper at BoschGarten.com. Bosch Garten with a T, not a D. www.boschgarten.com. 3 rooms, all with private baths. Children, call ahead. Animals, not allowed. Handicap, not handicap accessible. Dietary needs will accommodate guests' special dietary needs. Built in 1992 specifically as a bed and breakfast, Bosch Garten provides a quiet getaway with the magnificent Cascade Mountains towering in the background. Guests enjoy the living room with its 30-foot ceiling, distinctive fireplace, and 18-foot potted Norfolk pine. That's a big potted tree. The fresh multi-course breakfast features Leavenworth's fabulous tree fruits, pastries, juice, tea, and freshly ground Starbucks coffee. They add liquor, sugar, sour cream, and some fruit. I don't know that I would add the first 3 ingredients, but you would just want some fresh fruit. Okay, the last one we'll do. You can't go wrong with garlic potatoes. China Berry Hill, Cecil and Yarrow Wayman, 302 Tacoma Avenue North Tacoma, Washington. Tacoma has gone through sort of a major build-up, but it still exists as sort of a port area town with a stadium and some other stuff. Okay? China Berry at wa.net. ChinaBerryHill.com. www.ChinaBerryHill.com. Rooms, 1 room, 4 suites, all with private baths. Children, welcome in the guest cottage. Animals, not allowed. Resident cats. Handicap, not handicap accessible. Dietary needs will accommodate guests' special dietary needs. Formerly called the Lucius Manning Estate, China Berry Hill was best known at the turn of the century for its breathtaking gardens, filled with antiques and Tacoma memorabilia. This graceful Victorian is on the National Register of Historic Places, so you can still look it up probably. Put China Berry Hill on wheels and we'd take it on all our vacations. That's a quote from a guest, China Berry Hill. They make garlic potatoes. They add some potatoes, some butter, some salt, some pepper, and some parsley. Okay? No more. Okay, the last one. Roma Romano tomatoes. Old Consulate Inn, F.W. Hastings House. But we already read it. It's just a second recipe. You add the tomatoes, melted butter, some Romano cheese, and some dried basil. All right. So let's get back to the TV. Jersey Shore, we're talking about old school because it really is old. Jersey Shore Cooks and Artists, illustrated by the Manasquan River Group of artists. This artist used the name Smart. The Jersey Shore's gotten a hold of me. Too many episodes. I gotta open the book. Otherwise, I just discard it. I mean, that's the reality of television, I'm telling you. Jersey Shore Cooks and Artists. It does have kind of a fun... We'll see the back cover here. Ooh. Okay. You gotta love hairdressers. You got the map of the Jersey Shore. Lindenhurst, Laurelton, Allaire, Allenwood. I thought it was Alleywood. It's Allenwood. Okay, Farmingdale, all those areas. All right. Teresa K. Hairdressers. That's a business. 506 Washington Boulevard, Seagirt, New Jersey. That's G-I-R-T, New Jersey. Al-Sand Motor Court, State Highway number 35, Spring Lake Heights, New Jersey. Shafts, not with a T, hyphen S, or apostrophe S. Upholstering and Drapery, State Highway number 35, Belmar, New Jersey. Surf Drug Company with a dot at the end. 1200-3rd Avenue, Spring Lake, New Jersey. Townsend's Motel, Inc., State Highway number 35, Seagirt, New Jersey. Village Colony Motel, 610 Warren Avenue, Spring Lake Heights, New Jersey. Wall Township, Esso Station, State Highway number 35. That one's in Belmar, New Jersey. Majo, or Maho, depending on how you pronounce it, Inc., dot, comma, space, gifts, dot. State Highway number 35 and Seagirt Avenue. Wall Town, what is that, Township? TWP, New Jersey. Brandywine Mushroom Corp., Westchester, Pennsylvania. Brandywine Mushroom Corp. Okay. Brielle Hardware, Brielle, New Jersey, 208 Union Ave, CA dot 3-0604. Valspar Paint Marine and Fishing Equipment, Gifts, Housewares, General Hardware. Phone Castle, 3-3211, Rent and Johnson. Jim's Glimmer, Glass Fishing Station, Bait-Tackle, Johnson Seahorse, Outboard Motors. Highway 71, Brielle Road at Three Bridges. Turn east on Fisk, and you're in Manasquan, New Jersey. Gibson, 9-6699, Heavy Hardware. Hey Niger Brothers, Inc., Contractors Equipment. Municipal Supplies, State Highway 35, 1 mile south of Belmar, New Jersey. Not to be confused, the spelling is Heyniger Bros. Heyniger Bros, Inc. It's a little tricky on the spelling. Technically, Niger is a country in Africa. If you add another G, it's the N-word. Hey is commonly used to talk to people as a first word. So you want to be careful. In addition to that, bros has been euphemized heavily, including Budweiser ads and television and drinking. Okay? So that one's a little tough. I don't know if that's still there. State Highway 35, 1 mile south of Belmar. George Mueller, contractor, Manasquan, New Jersey. Excavating, asphalt driveways, grading. Highway 35 at Seagirt Avenue. Castle 3-2533. You've got Manasquan Lumber, Arnold's Floor Covering, 16 Broad Street, Manasquan. Marlin-Tuna Club, Brielle Road at Three Bridges, Manasquan. Hills Motel, Tourist Accommodations, 2300 Route 35 at Manasquan Circle, Manasquan, New Jersey. Castle 3-1247. Okay, Slenderella, not Cinderella, Slenderella International Salons, the world's leading slenderizing system. So maybe you lose weight. I don't know. Your figure can be made the size it ought to be. Well, let me tell you something. I'm 200 pounds heavier than I was at 15 years old. Free trial visit. Slenderella Salon, 136 Broad Street. Red Bank, New Jersey. SH 1-822. Frank I. Newman and Son, Farm, Garden, and Lawn Supplies, 1215 Seagard Avenue, Manasquan, New Jersey. Brielle Yacht Basin at Harbor Inn, Ashley Ave, Brielle, New Jersey. Seacoast Yacht Basin, Brielle, New Jersey. Park Tailor and Cleaner, dry cleaning on premises, State Highway 71, Manasquan, New Jersey. The Holly Berry Shop, not Halle Berry, the famous, beautiful actress. The Holly Berry Shop, 619 Green Ave, Brielle, New Jersey. H. Spiker Prop, gifts, antiques, and Christmas decorations located at Old Brielle Post Office. This is a little Point Pleasant Hospital Guild, Point Pleasant, New Jersey. Quote, if Jersey Shore Cooks and Artists is not available locally, it may be ordered from Point Pleasant Hospital Guild, Point Pleasant, New Jersey. So we got lots of addresses in here. Here we go. We got some anecdotes. New Jersey, the tri-states, is famous for anecdotes. Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey. If you had $1 million, you couldn't buy better baked goods. Fisher Baking Company, Asbury Park, New Jersey. Compliments of Squan Outboard Center, Squan Landing, Route 70, and Upper Manasquan River Bridge, Brielle, New Jersey. For the finest in dairy products, call Shore Dairies Inc., Allenhurst, New Jersey. Kellogg 1-2233. Githens Rex Samer and Co. Inc. period. Institutional suppliers of quality goods since 1861. 242-44 No Dot Delaware Ave, Philadelphia 6, comma, return next line, Penna period. Okay. A. Mashad Company, Philadelphia, PA, purveyors of fine meats, poultry, and seafood. 2. Institutions, clubs, hotels, and restaurants famous for Mashad's portionized custom cuts and bonded beef. Garfield 6-1000. The Chase P. Withrow Agency, Realtors and Insurance, Main Street at 3rd Avenue, Manasquan, New Jersey, Castle 3-3232. Chase P. Withrow, Sheldon L. Withrow. We got lots of businesses in New Jersey. Brielle Yacht Club, Brielle, New Jersey. Swordfish jumping into martini glass. Patrons, we got to read the patrons. I'm not trying to be arrogant or rude, but there's a lot of them because there's a Bleecker. Mr. and Mrs. Leonard B. Bleecker. Mrs. Bernard Ryan. Miss Catherine T. Naylor. We'll go to the top. Mr. and Mrs. E.C. Loser. Mr. and Mrs. Raymond Brands with an E. Mr. and Mrs. Richard N. Watts. Mrs. Lois A. Brady. Mr. and Mrs. Eugene Wallwork. Mr. and Mrs. H. Leroy Schaefer Jr. Mr. and Mrs. E.J. Todd. Not Todd. Dodd. D-O-D-D. Mr. and Mrs. Ernest Anderson. Mr. and Mrs. J.H. Dorbar. Mr. and Mrs. C.A. Felch. Mr. and Mrs. Effie Hans Strader. Mr. and Mrs. Earl Townsend. Mr. and Mrs. H.E. Berrien. Mr. and Mrs. D.J. Clark. Mr. and Mrs. E.J. Shank. Mr. and Mrs. Monroe with a U, C. Hawes. Miss Georgiana Reifschneider. Dr. Agnes Wayman. Mr. and Mrs. Gerald Hyde. Mrs. Stanley J. Lathrop. Mrs. Willifred Sherritt Campbell. Mr. and Mrs. Harold Chafee with one F. Mr. and Mrs. Clifford L. Butterworth. I was talking the other night watching a Butterworth ad from an old Butterworth ad. Mr. and Mrs. W.G. Croymelbine. Mr. and Mrs. Harold Edwards. Mr. and Mrs. Charles Freiberger. Mr. and Mrs. George W. Burlew. Mr. and Mrs. John E. Wade. Mrs. Joseph P. Walsh. Mr. and Mrs. James J. Wood. Mr. and Mrs. Ferdinand H. Kneff, or Neff with a K-N-E-F. Mr. and Mrs. Joseph R. Crommelin. Mr. and Mrs. W.G. Roth Fuss. Okay. Oh my God, the patrons going on. I cannot read them all. There's Griggs, Green, Macon, Finn, Wilson, Maidment. There's another Naylor, Burr, Constock, Sleeper, Pierce, Conrad, Lynx, Dunlap, Peterson, Teppel, Jones, Hendrickson, Flaherty, Kessler, Keenan, Winchester, Browazicki, Strickland, Mitchell, Mainzer, Bird, Lewis, A. Friend, Mr. Roger Gilman, Mr. and Mrs. Charles Gilman, Goldberg, Batterson, McClellan, Crommelin, Malbeck, Koenig, E. Klein, Austin Roy, Popiel, Hess, Stiles, Holmquist, Hens, Ritterspacher, Mr. and Mrs. W.M. T. Wilson, Halloran, Getty, A. Friend, Chester Burr, Georgie Rogers, Frederick Newton, Arbuckle, Edwards, Anderson, Cook, Wardle, Booton. Let's move on. Doctors. Okay, the hospital administrators. We honor the doctors. Hospital administrator Arnold S. Lane and Mrs. Lane. Doctors. Dr. and Mrs. John W. Hardy. Dr. Ruth M. Shriver. Dr. and Mrs. Harry R. Brindle. Dr. and Mrs. Donald Pyle. Dr. and Mrs. Charles Tassini. I'm tired. Dr. and Mrs. Alexander E. Zerpol. Dr. and Mrs. R. E. Rankin. Dr. and Mrs. Richard B. Graham. Dr. and Mrs. O. R. Holters. Dr. and Mrs. Frank J. Brown. Dr. and Mrs. Leon J. Dwulet. Dr. and Mrs. J. Bruce Henriksen. Dr. and Mrs. Stanley P. Wertman. Dr. and Mrs. Joseph C. Jordan. Dr. and Mrs. Fred E. Eggers. Reflections by Sheila M. Schneider. The timeless tide its endless run, whispering softly to the sun. A rush of sea upon the shore, or pirate gold on the ocean floor. A buried treasure long forgotten, and sunken hills left to rot. A shifting transient hand of man, lost in the silent drifting sand. It will remain as it was before, to stay unchanged the Jersey shore. You got an art illustration by Ruth Vale. All right, let's get to some of the recipes. We got the jams in the back. Pear jam, apricot, pineapple, spiced fruits, cranberry, horseradish relish. No, I'm just reading the books because I got tired. Monmouth Wallpaper and Paint Company, Grand Avenue, Asbury Park, headquarters for Artist Supplies. There's sort of a round desk, so we're going to move on. They do have some nice illustrations here. Okay, this is the last one. Post Lumber, Point Pleasant Beach, headquarters for barbecue equipment. All right. So Valley View Blueberry Summer Cookbook. All right. You got that high-end New York Dean and DeLuca cookbook. Real expensive in New York City. Could not afford to go there very often. Real clean book here. All right. California flavors. It had to be revised. Mabel and Gar Hoffman's. We got here Kimberly Community Cookbook. Oh, man. Norman Van Aken's Feast of Sunlight. It looks like they got sort of a pork or ham steak there with some pineapple salsa or something. It actually looks kind of good. Sort of that Hawaiian influence type thing, even though not from Hawaii, obviously. Unless maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe Ken's from Hawaii. I don't know. All right. Stenciled strawberry in the hands of a chef. All right. So can we move the TV? We're still getting a little bit of a pinch. We got so many books in the back. See, it's like I was gonna say that so much trouble in the world, so many books in the back. I don't know, it doesn't really work. You gotta sort of use the language identifier for that. Okay, shrimp, best of taste. This man looks like he's had it all. He's got a clean black shirt like Steve Jobs, a glass of wine, a good haircut. He's smiling. Nice shrimp dish, best taste, flavors of the Pacific Coast. That's John Sarich. Let's see if we can find out about these guys in the 80s and 90s. They had it all. You know, the money, the job, the car. Look at him here. Sitting at the pier with the glass of wine, the clean white shirt. Some type of pen or a pen bracelet. John Sarich is of Mediterranean heritage. Was raised in the Pacific Northwest and has traveled throughout the world. By mingling ingredients from his background and experience, John has developed a style of cooking that reflects this cultural fusion. John joined Washington's Chateau Saint Marcel winery in 1976, and his enthusiasm and knowledge of the wines and food of the area is unsurpassed. He conducts cooking classes, wine and food tastings, wine dinners, and special events throughout the USA and internationally. This is a quote. For the past 11 years, as culinary director, I've had the pleasure of some of the finest wines on the Pacific Coast, like Via Mount Eden, Columbia Crest, and Chateau Saint Marcel, says John. These wines were used in developing the recipes for Best of Taste because of their quality and credentials. In 1980, John founded Seattle's acclaimed Adriatica restaurant and later opened Damasijo restaurant in Damasijo restaurant in Seattle's Pike Place Market. Anyway, enough of that. Cooking with fire and smoke. Introduction by Bert Green, Philip Stephen Schultz. Schultz. It's actually a pretty good book. Okay. We're gonna rotate this guy around. We still have this bad pinch. And I can't, their books are in the back. I gotta lift up the shelf. Could use a nice damn cloth wipe. Somehow. Okay, so as expected, we have a cable plug-in. We don't need the cable plug-in. Antenna A and antenna B. So apparently this cable, which still is in the wall, doesn't actually have anything. We have the power cable and that. We have I need a light over here. We have a speaker test. Test the speakers. We got those speaker outlets, and we have component inputs and a computer input, S-video input. So no HDMI. October 1988, Mitsubishi Electric, manufactured. M1LA. October 1988. It's a TV receiver. Got good speakers on the side. 3-inch circle speakers on the side. Somehow the shavings at the back or whatever. We got some holes in the wall again here. So we're going to unhook the cable because we don't need it. And what we want, which I don't have here either and I never bought, is a HDMI to coaxial cable with a coupler or a bridge to it. You know, they've got a lot of HDMI switches. You need an HDMI to coaxial switch. And all my stuff's packed. I don't really know. That's what it looks like. This is the old Mitsubishi. Show it to you here. You got the old dusty component system, the speaker hookups, left and right channel. You can turn the speaker on and off here. You got a little S-video in your component here. We got October 1988, and we got M1LA, Mitsubishi Electric Corporation, the TV receiver here. And I'll show you these speakers. These are actually pretty good speakers on the side. But yeah, anyway, that's the TV, and it still is getting pinched by this shelf. It looks like the wedges in the back, these things may have been shortened. This corner wood here, shortened. See, it doesn't actually flush connect on the bottom. See, it doesn't flush. So it might have been shortened, and then at the back it always pinches. So you always have this pinched TV. Basically, you'll have a permanently sort of damaged system here. A lot of these wood systems and stuff, they just sort of went kaput, basically. I can't even really get that. And you can see here you got the outlet back there with the cable. I can unscrew that too. Remove the cable. Okay. We basically have our coaxial cable here. Right here is a coaxial cable. So we get rid of that. And I don't actually have my tech bin here. Like it's packed. I asked my mom earlier today. I said, hey, can't remember what I was asking if I could go get. Oh, my radio. I said, hey, I want to go get this radio. So maybe I can listen to music or whatever. Because we were moving chairs. I said, why don't I just go outside and listen to some radio? She said, no, it's all packed in the storage locker. So I'm not going to really be able to do much with this. Because I don't have component cables. None of the like Amazon Fire stuff like that is all HDMI. So even Ethernet, you can't hook the Ethernet up. There's no Ethernet jack on this thing. I wonder why. Oh, 1988. Yeah, it's tough. So it is a 1988 TV. 88, 98, 2008, 2018. That's a 33-year-old TV, man. That's unbelievable. I can't believe that. All right, so we're watching these women here. They're in a Scandinavian country. Oh, I wasn't supposed to show the setup. I was too tired. I erred. My dad said don't show the setup. But they sound pretty good. They're from... I thought they're in Scandinavia. They might not. Some of their voices or accent changes a little bit. Oh, dropped the pillow. So that's what happens. You get a head injury, you're too tired or whatever. Your back hurts, your back breaks, you make a mistake. My dad said, don't show the setup. I was fooling with the TV, doing electronics, reading the books. I got too tired to show the TV. I'm just too tired. On the spot, right there. What I'm going to do right now, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to look up for a connector. It'll be too difficult. HDMI to coaxial. I'm gonna listen to that song right now on YouTube. I'm gonna listen to it. I can hear it. I don't think I'm gonna have Prime or Tidal anymore because I can't pay for the Sprint membership anymore because I can't pay them. So what do I go to? Midnight City by M83. I haven't seen the. All right, here's the official video. 9 years ago, not 33 years ago. I'll put the volume at 33. 33-year-old TV, 33-year-old volume, 9-year-old song, kid in a computer lab, postmark prison. What do you got? You got Apple laptops. I went up by 2. It looked a little bit like Elena Kesson, who's on Twitch too, which is crazy. 9 years ago, you know. It's like that game Control too. The girl's like picking up the old trailer and throwing it. Light brown jeans or cords and a light blue shirt. I don't know where it is, but early on it was like that sort of that Scandinavia sort of like forest, cold, sort of clean stuff. But now maybe it's in the South or Virginia or wherever. Wrecking halls, man. One thing that's different for me, there's a lot of elk here. Once the elk are in those forests, that area, it just changes it so much. You know, whether they're highland or lowland by the ocean, in the mountains, around, they're all over here. They're real big. It changes that clean forest idea so much.
followers in Instagram New Year's Live. Yeah, Jeff, congrats to people that out.
Thank you so much. How are you doing though?
Parker Street, or you know him?
Yeah, I know it. I play CS with him. He's hosting matches.
Really? Maybe I should get carried.
Come and say anything on it.
Are you good? I'm playing Fellowship, the company name right now.
Tinder, that is for booty call. Yeah, totally. That's what I like to figure out for my
I know
friends.
many friends that actually found their love through Tinder.
But everyone at Tinder wanna get down.
What's wrong with getting down?
I don't know.
Is it different go to a party? Well, actually, I don't meet people on Tinder, so I'm just trying to make some drama.
All right, well, it's about the afternoon. I probably got to go get the mail or something with my mom. Anyway, hope you're doing good. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.